Hey everyone and welcome back to a new episode of the Gaming News. Today is January 11th and yeah, it's a little late compared to other times, but hey, sometimes you're just that busy, so let's jump right into it. If you're a developer using the Unity game engine to do your game in, you probably have heard about it already, but for everyone else, there was some actually really big controversy regarding that game engine, and it all starts with actually something which is called Spatial OS. It's done by Improbable, a company, and they're using this to enable multiplayer games inside of Unity as a game engine. Now, on December 4th, apparently, Unity changed their terms of services, and that was actually noticed to Improbable just 2 days ago by now. And as a result, they're saying, okay, apparently SpatialOS and all Unity games that are using it are actually breaching the Unity terms of service. So if you're using it, so for example, to have a game running on some servers, so you can have a multiplayer game in it, that apparently is now, if it uses SpatialOS at least, breaching Unity's terms of services. And from what I've read so far from other sources is that as long as parts or individual segments of the Unity engine are hosted somewhere else that's not on Unity's side, apparently that is breaching contract. And from that standpoint on, we see, okay, lots of developers were already going crazy and saying, okay, is my game now actually just shut down? Well, not really. First off, we have their statement, the official one, in quotes here. Overnight, this is an action by Unity that has immediately done harm to projects across the industry, including those of extremely vulnerable or small-scale developers, and damaged major projects in development over many years. Games that have been funded based on the promise of Spatial OS to deliver next-generation multiplayer are now in danger due to the choice of front-end engine. Live games are now in legal limbo. Well, it's really interesting. But then, just a few hours later, Unity came around. So this is the official Unity blog, as you can see. And they say, okay, hang on a second. You could still work on your Spatial OS game. And apparently there are just some actual obligations happening here. So they are in talk with the developers behind Spatial OS, Improbable. And that these things apparently are just blocked out. But Unity still says you can still work on your games. You changed your terms of service too. What's that about? So they say, from time to time, Unity will update its TOS to reflect how we run our business and address questions from our partners and customers. In December, we made clarifications to our streaming and cloud gaming restrictions because we received requests for clarification as the industry is evolving quickly. At the core, the streaming and cloud gaming restrictions terms are still the same as before. We received feedback that the language was ambiguous, so we updated our terms of service to be clear on our distribution and streaming restrictions. We will continue to listen to the community and clarify as we can. But then they just say, however, if a third-party server wants to run the Unity runtime in the cloud with their additional SDK, we consider this a platform. In these cases, we require the service to be an approved Unity platform partner. These partnerships enable broad and robust platform support so developers can be successful. We enter in these partnerships all the time. This kind of partnership is what we have continuously worked towards with Improbable. So what you're actually saying is, it's not directly saying, no, all the things that you have, and SpatialOS is just one of the outliers, are automatically blocked by this now. It's just, if you are not partnering with Unity, you're not allowed to use the game engine on some cloud service, for example, to enable multiplayer support. Okay, with that clarification, a lot of fuss happened around that, and it's still, some people are still like, oh god, okay, maybe I should go away from that. And here's the interesting thing now, like everything that happens around this is just fascinating. Epic Games now said, actually, if you want to use Unreal Engine, we are now working closer together with Improbable. So Tim Sweeney, the Epic Games founder and CEO, and Herman Narula, the Improbable CEO, are now doing this blog post just one day, January 11th, to talk about this. And they say, yeah, recent changes to Unity that in terms of service has raised concerns among developers about the future ability to choose freely among engines, middleware, SDKs, stores, and cloud service providers. I don't know why I talked about that, but it's fun. Worse, it has left some live and in-development games in legal limbo. Read more here. That is the statement from Improbable, which has been partially rectified by Unity now, I guess. But still, it goes on. Epic Games and Improbable would like to jointly reaffirm our commitment to giving game developers the best combination of engine and other technology backed by interoperable standards that work for everyone while respecting developers' ability to choose partners and software components freely. So they have partnership now, and they are actually bringing in $25 million to enable SpatialOS to transition over to the Unreal Engine and to bring, of course, Improbable and Epic Games closer together. There are two things that you can note from this, basically, right? So Epic is watching everything and seeing everything. And I absolutely bet Epic is already contacting Bungie regarding their Destiny game. Maybe they want to host Destiny 3 on their service soon, like on the Epic Store. Who knows? As I already talked before in the previous videos, now Ubisoft actually is bringing out The Division 2 to Uplay and not Steam anymore, but to Uplay and the Epic Game Store. And who knows what else they do. So just be wary. Epic Games has just started to get really big. With Fortnite and everything, they have the funding, and they definitely want to shake up the industry. So things like that, it's just small stuff between Unity and an SDK developer, brings in the big guys with Epic Games, like Tim Sweeney, you know? So there's some really crazy stuff happening here. Of course, it's just abbreviated, so if you want to read everything else yourself, links to this whole story and all the sources are in the video description down below. Then next up, just some more smaller news to end for a nice note on the weekend. FoxNet apparently is still working on a sequel, or at least an Alien multiplayer game, and the Alien Blackout game is not the only game that is coming soon, as confirmed by Fox. So, there was a trademark that appeared before the Game Awards shortly, and that was Alien Blackout. As we know now, this is a mobile game, as we reported about it. But there's also that some veterans at Cold Iron Studio are working on an Alien shooter for PC and consoles. Fox Next, the game's division of 20th Century Fox, acquired the studio at the time, but things have been quiet ever since. So, the very last line in the press release said, Alien Blackout had an important reminder about FoxNet of a big Alien project. So there is a different Alien project. We know there could be something coming, and this makes me hope that, okay, multiplayer games, oh god, but it could still be better than mobile games, I don't know. So that's that. We report as we know more soon. Then, if you have Fallout 76, you poor soul, you can get now the Fallout Classic Edition with the next update, Fallout Tactics. Sorry, I couldn't remember, and the icon was so small. And Fallout 2. THQ Nordic, another company that already in last year was going around and acquiring lots of different IPs and studios, now also has acquired the rights to Outcast, which is like a royal game from 1999. I'm sorry. They are actually working together with the Belgian studio Appeal. And they are working on a sequel, as it seems, Outcast 2, The Lost Paradise. But financial difficulties eventually saw the project shelved by publisher, back then Infogrames, before Appeal eventually declared bankruptcy in 2002. So the whole thing is on ice. But I mean, there are people still probably in the industry and they're still working somewhere. So yeah, Appeal's original founders, Yves Grollet, I hope I said that right, Frank Sauer, and Jan Robert, were launching the studio in 2015 before releasing a complete remake called Outcast Second Contact in 2017, which I've seen actually. So who knows, maybe with the funding of THQ Nordic, they can actually go on and make a proper Outcast 2 as they imagined it back in the day in 2002. Who knows? Definitely something interesting. Then Amazon is apparently working on its own game streaming service. And if you would wonder about that, I mean, it was just a question of time, right? Amazon wants to do the everything source for all the things, probably just like Google does with Alphabet. And yeah, The Verge was able to track down some Amazon job listings to corroborate the report, where the company is currently hiring at least 2 engineers in Seattle and California, specifically to working on cloud games, with a third post saying that Amazon has a new game business planned. We'll report more about that as soon as we know more facts. Then, almost last but not least, we have Activision, who already had like big news yesterday, announcing that Bungie is going independent from Activision and that Bungie is actually keeping the rights to publish Destiny. They're also now making Rob Kostich the role of the president of Activision, who was working with the company for nearly 15 years and was actually lead on Call of Duty games, right? Rob Kostich being the new president of Activision. Over nearly 15 years, we've seen your commitment to our games, our players, and our employees. And we are excited for the future with you at the helm. Yeah, lots of things happening around there. So Activision and Blizzard together seeing lots of changes, and who knows what else will happen very soon. I mean, I don't know. Modern Warfare 4? And as the very last bit of news, if you are excited for Kingdom Hearts 3, as are very, very many people here, there's actually already an update planned to come out on Tuesday, January 29th, and that will bring the memory archive, meaning videos, and several data fixes. But there's also known that on January 31st, a secret video will be unlocked for the players who fulfill the criteria for Aquarium Meet. So there is lots of things planned already with Kingdom Hearts, and apparently a secret video that you can only see after you finish the game is also coming as a patch in instead of being on the disc. It seems. But the epilogue and secret ending statuses are not clear this time. Square Enix states that the main game allows players to proceed to and view the ending without the need for an internet connection. So there's probably something on the disc, but it's probably hidden? Who knows? It's definitely for sure that they do as much as they can to stop leaks. I mean, I think it was in Mexico where the game already broke street date like a month, almost 2 months before release of the game. And of course, spoilers are everywhere on the internet. And even though I'm afraid to start Kingdom Hearts 3 because I only play Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 and not any of the side games, I'm just too lazy to look up all the lore in between. I'm not sure if I could really fully enjoy Kingdom Hearts 3 without playing through everything. I have all the PlayStation 4 remasters of the games that came before Kingdom Hearts 3, but still, it's I don't know when I'll get around to play Kingdom Hearts 3, but at least the ones that are up to date, not like me, that will get soon. They're a cool game, and apparently, hopefully, they'll also be spared for spoilers. At least the company Square Enix is doing a lot to prevent it. And with that, we end the news. Thank you so much for this great first week in 2019. I hope you liked it. I'm working in the background on my big top 2018 videos, the most games that I liked and other stuff, and I hope that I will be done with them very soon, so stay tuned for that. Subscribe if you didn't yet, and join us on Twitter and on Facebook if you want to, but also we have a Discord channel for free, so hit up thenewbird.com/Discord and you get our invite link right away. My name is Hostis, thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day and weekend. See you soon on Monday.